I just disappeared you, Mike. Oh, you're back.
Hello, I'm back. Happy Sunday, Trek fans.
How is it Sunday? This week has gone like a blur.
I know. I feel like it was yesterday we were talking about last week's episode.
I know. It's scary. Hello, everybody. Welcome in. You might notice that I am currently in Orion and not a person today. I'm a little bit under the weather, but I didn't want to miss this because it's a Tendi-centric episode, and Tendi is my girl. And I have an Orion character anyway, so I thought, what the hell? I will be a cartoon for the day.
I'll just be the one that gets a knife to the shoulder a few times.
Yeah, that was my plan. So I am safe. You will get stabbed in the shoulder a few times. Welcome in, Jim. Welcome in, Don and Miguel and other John. It's lovely to see you all. And Dean. It's very nice to see everybody. We have a lot to talk about tonight. Not just Lower Decks. There is also that episode of the very short Trek, which, full discretion, I stopped watching, but we'll talk about that in a bit. Then we've got a few other bits and pieces from general Trek stuff that's been going on in the week. And I think this week what we will do is, instead of starting with the episode, we will start with the bits and bobs and get those covered. And then we will talk about the short Trek, and then we will talk about the episode. Because then we can not have to rush through the episode to make sure we cover the other stuff, if that makes sense. Because this episode was great. We've got a lot to talk about with it. By the way, spoilers ahead. If you haven't seen this week's episode, we will ruin it because we are going to talk about it. So fair warning, you have been warned.
It's an incredible episode, and I cannot wait to dive into it.
Yeah, me too. I'm really looking forward to it. So I'm going to switch us over to our share screen so that you guys can
show me
see.
all the things.
So the first thing is that this week we've got IDW's Shaq special, which I'm really looking forward to. Shaq's Best Day. I'll make the pictures nice and big so you can have a look at it. It's one of the Day of Blood series. We're very much looking forward to this. I know you haven't read the comics yet. I feel like if anything is going to get you to read the comics, it's going to be this, because you love Shaq as much as I do. So I feel like it might happen.
So much.
He's just great. And also, I feel like he's been underutilized so far this season as well.
Yeah, I think so.
It was great seeing him in the yoga bit last week, but he hasn't been as prominent as he has previously.
Thinking about it, I don't think he got any voice lines in this episode this week.
I don't think he did.
Voice. Same with Ransom. Didn't hear him either, I think.
No, neither of them were in this week, which is sad because I love them both.
No Billups, no Ta'ana.
We didn't
literally just Captain Freeman.
Yeah. They might have been in the background on the bridge when we went to the bridge, but that was about it. Yeah. So, bit weird. I do look a bit green, don't I, Brad? Thanks. Look, I'm on theme, babe. I'm on theme. So we've got Shaq's Best Day. It looks like it's going to be a right hoot. It's written by Ryan North, drawn by Derek Cham, and the letters are done by Clayton Cowles. I'm really looking forward to reading this. Genuinely, I just think Shax is one of the best characters that we've been introduced to in the new Treks. I think he's got so much depth to him that we have yet to explore. There's so much beneath the surface with Shax, and I just think he's played to perfection in every episode that he's in, that I can't wait to read this. So very much looking forward to this crossover event with one final epically ass-kicking issue, which cracks me up quite a lot. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to that.
And also Ro is in this as well.
Yeah.
Ro Laren.
Yeah. Which is cool, really cool. Oh, there's some more of the images down here. Look. Lots of Klingons looking very mad at Shaq. Shaq's looking slightly wild, just slightly wild. I think it's going to be fun. I think it looks like a hoot, basically. I love this black and white panel in the middle. I've always loved this with manga and anime. When anything gets really serious in an anime, all of a sudden the art just turns into scribbles and just black outlines and random stuff, and shit's getting serious. That's what this looks like to me.
I love scribbles.
It cracks me up. I think it's really good. It's very stylized. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to that. We also have some very good news for Prodigy fans, in that Prodigy season 1 is finally coming to the UK. We had to wait for this. I know the first part of season 1 up to episode 10 has already been out in the US and Canada, and I'm assuming elsewhere as well. But but we had not got it yet. We are now getting this tomorrow, I believe. Yes, no. Oh, pre-orders are from tomorrow, and then free delivery from Saturday the 30th of September. So this week it's coming. And we get the whole season in one go. Whereas America have had to wait for 11 to 20. They're getting that the same time as we get this. We're going to get it all in one go, and it looks like it's going to have all of the same features that both theirs have got. So we're not just getting some of it, we are getting all of it together, which I'm quite excited about. Yeah. And I'm probably going to buy this because I have a fear that this will be the only way I'll ever get to see it again. So I'm probably going to buy this, even though I don't typically buy movies or TV shows anymore on physical copies. I will probably buy this because, like I've said many times to you guys, Prodigy has a very special place in my heart. What about you? You thinking of getting this?
I don't really buy physical media either, but I'm fairly sure that my other half has it already. So, the Orion way. But yeah, I don't really buy physical media at all.
Not even for games?
Very rarely.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Yeah. I usually, so for example, I will, Steam. I'll buy a lot of things through Steam. Or Nintendo games, I mostly buy through their shop. Because they give you quite a lot of nice discounts for purchasing with them. But there are a few things that I do buy physical. So I think I bought Tears of the Kingdom, the last Legend of Zelda game, on physical copy.
I'm a physical person. I with games in particular, I like to buy physical because if I don't like the game, I will take it to CEX and I will buy another game with what I trade that in for. Or if I love the game, I will keep it and then wait until I find a voice actor at a con and then get them to sign the game. Ooh. So that's like this year when we're at MCM, I am going to take my Last of Us 2 in for Ashley Johnson and Laura Bailey. They're going to be signing that for me. And then I'm also taking my Witcher stuff in for the Witcher cast to sign because that's just, I need it. And then I'm going to frame it and treasure it forever. So yeah, I do like the physical media. And
take my Overwatch light back there and get Matt Mercer to sign it at MCM.
That's so random. Why have you got a scribble on your light? Well, actually.
Wow.
It's actually Matt Mercer, who is a bit of a legend, so deal with it. So that's coming out. We're really excited about that. Speaking of things that are coming out as well, I believe this was announced like 3 years ago. It might not be quite that long, and that might have been TJ being like, it feels like it's been 3 years since it was announced, but it could be 3 years since this was announced.
I mean, I blinked and 3 years happened.
Yeah,
so...
tell me about it. It's been like that for the last while. Yes, Brad, you love getting games physically as well. Yeah, I get steelbooks too. I really do appreciate a good steelbook. Discord hid you again. There we go.
I think I have a Super Smash Bros. Steelbook down there somewhere.
Steelbooks are great. Dom said, my recent physical home media item was Star Trek the Motion Picture, The Complete Adventure on Blu-ray and 4K combo. That's so cool, Dom. You need to put a picture in the public Discord so everyone can see it, because I want to see what that looks like. I really, really want to see what that looks like. I need to get my Star Trek physical collection going, because I really don't have a very good Trek collection. So that's something that I am weak on at the moment, and I need to up my game on. But you can guarantee the first thing I'm going to get is those Lower Decks figures. Like as soon as I can get my hands on those Lower Decks figures from Comic-Con, I'm getting them, and they're going to be like in my background, pride of place with the light on them shining, because I'm so excited about them. So that is happening. I'm also on the hunt for plushies from Trek. So anytime I find a Trek plushie, I'm going to get one. There better be a Moopsy one, is all I'm saying. There better be a Moopsy one. Yeah,
because you'd want Murph, Moopsy, the lizards from Threshold.
Yes! Oh my god, yes, I want that. I also there's this really cute 7 of 9 plush that I saw once that I don't even think it was an official thing. I think it was on Etsy, but it was the cutest thing I've ever seen, and I want it. Anyway, we'll come back to 7 of 9 because I've got stuff to talk about her later. So there's a Star Trek Discovery Black Alert board game. I'm going to scroll down and read you the kind of like the brief intro to it, because I had not heard of this at all. And I'm quite excited about it, actually, because I've recently gotten into board games again and role-playing games, and especially since we did our Star Trek Adventures series together. I'm really excited about the idea of more Star Trek tabletop stuff, so I think I might actually get this. So the USS Discovery has traveled into a mirror universe. You must complete missions to discover how to use the spore drive to make it back to the Prime universe. But beware. Or the ISS Charon. I'm thinking that's Charon, if I'm reading it correctly.
Yeah, that's what's
the River of Styx guy.
No, it's the one with the giant glowing gold orb in it. It's Michelle Yeoh's.
Okay.
That's Karen.
Will chase and infiltrate the Discovery to capture and study the spore drive. Send your crew members to the location on either ships if you manage to sneak onto your opponents to advance the mission. Sabotage the other ship and repair your own. Which universe will prevail? I want to do this and be the baddie. I want to be Giorgio.
Yeah.
I need to be Giorgio. It has to happen because she is the sexiest character in all of Star Trek. And no one will be able to argue with me on that because Michelle Yeoh is literally a goddess.
Oh, I don't know though. Mirror Kira?
No, Michelle Yeoh is a goddess. A goddess. She's literally the best. Okay, I will fight you.
Or Ducat. All right.
So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. I think I actually might get it. It'll be interesting to see if there's going to be a digital version of it or if you can get it on tabletop sim as well, because it'll be cool to play it with the crew.
Tabletop would be great because I wouldn't have anybody IRL that I could play this with.
Yeah. It'd be nice if we could have it digitally. I think that's one thing that the tabletop world is lacking quite a lot of, is I don't think they realise just how many people want to play these games digitally. Like, some games do it, but other games rely on fans to do it. And some of us don't have the technical know-how to do it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It does sound fun, doesn't it, Jim? I'm really up for this. And that's the sort of thing, like, for example, if someone was able to get this into a digital sort of thing, it'd be the perfect sort of thing to have, like, a game night in the public Discord and a bunch of us join in and play with you guys. That would be so much fun, right? So I'm really hoping that that's something that they bring about. Can I flirt with Killy? Asking for a friend.
At your own risk.
Yeah. Watch out. Ooh. Watch out, Brad. She'll stomp on you. Okay, so then we also have, somehow I missed this, okay? I did not know this was a thing. I grew up in the 80s and 90s. I was a huge fan of the Care Bears. I had teddy bears and t-shirts, and I even had wallpaper with Care Bears on at one point. I didn't know that they basically did an 8-episode Star Trek parody. Did anybody know this? Is it just me?
I did not know this. I didn't watch them at all, but I did have a Care Bear as a kid.
You had one, but you never watched it. I love that. I
never watched it. No.
They're so cute. How did I not know this was a thing? I've always loved Trek ever since I was tiny because my mum loved it. So I grew up loving it. I loved this at the same time. How did I not know this happened? I don't know. But I am now on a mission to track these episodes down. I need to find them and I need to watch them. You don't need to sell it to me. Brad. Oh, babe. Right. So yeah, I'm very excited about this. I am definitely going to try and find this. This is just insane. This is just insane. Look at that ship. It's literally a heart version of the Enterprise. It looks like a Polly Pocket Enterprise. That's what it looks like to me. Oh my god, I need to make a Polly Pocket Enterprise and sell it on Etsy. That would do like gangbusters. I've just thought of a new business plan for when I'm old. Yeah, right? That would be such a good idea for a Discord night one. I think we'd have such good fun. Like, those of us that can do it, like, from the crew and then a bunch of guys from the community, I think we would have a great time. If we can find a game like that for us to do, I would be so up for that. Jim's got a model.
Even though it'd be cool to do, like, a Star Trek Adventures thing, because I still really want to do that.
Actually, yeah, guys, would you be up for that? Would you guys want to do a Star Trek Adventures night in the Discord server? That would be really fun. I'd be up for that. I'm pretty sure Orion and Turner would be up for it as well. Maybe Troy if he wants to. But yeah, I think that would be really good fun. So Jim's got a model of the Starship Enterprise battery operated, and you have bridge of the Starship Enterprise with the characters and the transporter. That's pretty cool, Jim. That's pretty cool. Yeah, a Hearterprise. Yeah, it's a Hearterprise. How did I not come up with that pun? Well done, Don. I just love this. I think it's great. Everything on it is just perfect. Like, look at it's a rainbow transporter beam coming down onto them, which could not be more Care Bears. I felt TJ sent me this earlier and I literally freaked out. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't help it. When two things I love together get joined, like my little nerd brain can't cope with it.
Oh, imagine if the Care Bears did a Tuvix episode as well. Like.
Oh man, that would be absolutely wild.
That'd be off the wall.
Yeah, that would be insane. You love the motion picture refit as well. Yeah. Enterprise D is your first ever Starship Enterprise and overall Starship, followed by the Connie class. Yeah, the original Connie class. Yeah. So yeah, I'm really.
Enterprise D was my first as well, and I've got the model in the background, but it doesn't work anymore. It doesn't make any sounds anymore.
Oh, that's sad. That's sad. But yeah, so I'm gonna track these down, you guys, and I'm gonna watch them. And maybe, if I'm allowed, I will talk to Jack about it. But if I'm allowed and I can track them down, maybe I'll do a watch party in the Discord and we can all watch it together. I'll see what Jack says. But if he's on board, I'm on board. So if you want to watch this with me, make sure you're in the Discord, because that will be fun. That we can have a pajama party and just chill out and watch Care Bears. Then we've got these amazing posters by Matt Ferguson. So they're doing like a series of these posters. These were just the first two that were released. You've got the standard one for the Star Trek motion picture, and then they also released a foil edition with Japanese text, which I just think is insanely gorgeous. I'd probably go for the Japanese one if I could, but they sold out so fast. However, they are going to be releasing more. We've got a selection of teasers of some of the other Vice Press posters to be coming out. These are surrounding everything from Picard season 3 to some of the movies. There's lots of different things on there.
I'd want a foil version, but not with Japanese writing, because I'm not a weeb.
I'm a weeb. I'm a weeb, and I am a proud weeb. And I also think Japanese writing is way prettier than our writing.
It's nice, but I do like to know what stuff says when I look at it.
Fair. However, I can read katakana and hiragana, so I can read some Japanese.
Picard is doing Capaldi's eyebrows.
He has got some wild eyebrows in this one. You don't have Discord? Okay, let me get you the link. And this time I will make sure that I put the right link in, because I'm not rushing. I'm going to do the correct link this time.
Okay. It's fine. We've both done goofs.
I accidentally put the private Discord link in the chat once. That was a mistake. This is the public
staff one.
Yeah, this is the public Discord link. It is in the chat now. Join it.
I'm not actually in the Discord, so I should join that.
You're a boob. Why are you not in there?
A boob.
I
just hadn't got around to it.
We need. Oh, I keep losing you because I clicked to get the link up and then I lost you. There, you're back. So yeah, I'm gonna get off Picard's eyebrows now, but we've got a few little teasers of other posters that are coming out. They're all very zoomed in sections, but I just think this has got me really amped about it. I don't know, some of you, I've said this before, me and my partner have just bought our first house together. We're currently in the process of looking for artwork to make it feel like ours, not just a house, and Trek posters could not be more us.
Oh, I need the D. Enterprise D.
Mikey,
yes.
What are you like? Oh my goodness. I am going to clip that and put it on TikTok.
Well, okay, right. For reals, watercolor or acrylic Enterprise D?
We have to go and dress up as
watercolor or oil?
Yeah, acrylic is what the answer is to that.
Okay.
We have to go and play some harpsichord to decide. But yeah, no, I think this is really cool, and I'm really liking the various art styles to them. They've all got that old-fashioned kind of poster art to them, which I really like. I'm glad they're not trying to make them super modern. So yeah, I'm really excited. Brad, you're so.
Brad is incorrigible. This is why I like
Brad is one of my favorite people. He just cracks me up every week. Every week he cracks me up. I like this one. I think this is really cool. So yeah, I think these are really exciting. If you want to get these when they come out. Keep an eye on at the Trek Central, because we will be retweeting or posting about any of them that come out. Or you could head to Vice Press and just keep an eye, because they will sell out fast. Like, the interest in these has been off the charts. So yeah, if you want to get your hands on one of these whilst they're original and they're not copies or anything like that, keep an eye out, check them out. I'm very excited about them. So yeah, I'm just a giant nerd. You know what I'm like. I just like all things geeky. I just said to Mike before we went live that I went on eBay last week to buy my partner a birthday present, and I ended up spending like 150 quid on Dragon Ball figures for myself, because that's who I am. I can't help myself. But I think these are exciting. I think they're really cool. Welcome in, Random. It's nice to see you. So yeah, right. I'm going to go back to our little live cams without the thing, because I'm not putting up a picture of this week's short track when we talk about it, because it was vile. Absolutely vile. If you've just had your dinner, I apologise, because this was a really disgusting episode, and I literally turned it off. What was it called? Let me get the episode title up. I can't even remember what it was called.
Worst Contact.
Worst Contact. There you go.
Worst Contact.
It was the worst episode.
I just don't understand. Like, my problem with these short treks is they're meant to be a celebration of Star Trek and showcasing particular characters, but none of the characters have been acting like any of the characters that we really know. The humor has been really crap toilet humor at best.
Yeah.
And this one, it's like Dr. Crusher was never called Riker Bill.
No,
Crusher and Riker being the two First Contact representatives, and just the existence of whatever this disgusting culture is. It's just like, who wrote this? Why did they write this? And did they go to prison? Because like, these shorts are appallingly bad. Like, the first one was kind of funny.
No, I didn't like that one.
Really, really did tickle me. But it's just like, this is not what I expected as a celebration of Star Trek in the animated style. It's just absolute pure garbage, and I don't expect them to get any better, honestly. Like,
no, I've lost all hope at this point. After this week, I was like, oh, we're carrying on with this toilet humor, and it's just not funny. And like we discussed last week, that I guess like they're trying to keep it in line with like 60s and 70s comedy, and like it was a different time and whatever, but this is literally like they had a joke and they just wanted to make that joke work in whatever way they could, and it didn't matter if it was anything to do with Trek or Trek culture or anything, like nothing to do with what we are as Trekkies, like nothing. It's just like, oh, we might as well use some Star Trek-ish people to tell this shit joke, and that's what it comes across to me. I don't think they're funny at all. Yeah, kill Booger Nation. Yeah, it was awful. I literally turned it off. Like, I got as far as when they realised that all of the green around them was just bogies, and I had to stop watching it. I was like, nope.
Yeah, just vile. Lower Decks is on last legs. Are you mad?
No, Sean. No. We love Lower Decks.
Agree. Well, Don says that the third was better than the first two. The second is the only one that I've actually liked in some way.
I didn't like any of them. Yeah. The only bit I found funny, literally only bit I found funny was the guy getting cut in the transporter. Like, I thought that was funny.
It tickles me every time.
I don't think that it was a good representation of Ethan Peck's Spock. I feel like he would understand that those things were not funny. Like, he is way more human than any version of Spock we have seen up to this point, and it just felt very out of character for him.
I feel like it's something 7 of 9 would have done, because she didn't understand humor and stuff like that.
Yeah, back in the day.
When she's teaching the kids to have fun.
Yeah.
So fun will now commence.
Yeah. Okay. I can see that. I can absolutely see that. But I don't know. And this one was just so disgusting. I was like, no, I'm turning it off. And you're right. It really irked me when she called him Bill. I was like, sorry, what? Beverly, what? Yeah. I don't think I've ever... I swear I have never heard him say this.
Sean, are you absolutely mad? We'll get into Lower Decks a bit later, but no, absolutely, I disagree 1000%.
Hey, no, okay, right. First of all, Sean, you're not a Debbie Downer. You're allowed your opinion, bud. You're allowed your opinion. However, be prepared for a fight. because we both
We
really
are two
love
of the
it.
biggest Lower Decks fans.
Yeah, we really love it. I do think, and we'll get onto that in a minute. I think this was the weakest of the episodes this season so far, but I did really enjoy it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I've got reasons for that, but I still really enjoyed it. Should we just move on and talk about that now? I feel like we should. We've got a whole hour.
You got any more of the other bits?
No, that's everything.
Yeah.
Oh no, wait, no, we have some anniversaries to talk about. So today happens to be the 6th anniversary of disco. So I'm a big disco fan. I love Discovery. I know it has its weakness, and you all know that I also don't like Michael as a captain. I think she's a selfish, horrible captain. But the rest of the cast I love. I love all the other characters very, very much, and I will go to war for Saru and Tilly. So yeah, happy 6th anniversary to Disco. I literally can't wait to see the final season. I'm very excited about that. Who's your favourite character, by the way, in Disco?
Has my camera disappeared again?
Yeah,
in
probably.
Discovery.
Yeah.
Engineer. What's her face? I can't remember her name.
Tig Notaro.
Tig Notaro's character, yeah.
I have a big crush on her. I like.
That's okay, Sean. We were talking about the very short tracks.
The very short tracks.
It's just appalling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
a random person. Yeah, it's right. Bill is short for William or Will Riker, but whenever I hear Bill in Star Trek, I'm used to being like people saying Bill Shatner.
Yeah.
So it took me a second. I was like, Shatner. No. Wait,
I just have never heard. It's just because I've never heard Beverly call him Bill before, ever.
No,
ever. I've heard them call him Will before, but I've never heard them call him Bill ever. And I was like,
either the writers don't have a clue about Star Trek, or as TJ suspects, that AI is writing them.
Yeah, it honestly wouldn't surprise me at this point. So yeah, then also this week we have 2 other Star Trek anniversaries. So on the 26th, it is the 22nd anniversary of Enterprise, which I cannot actually believe it has been that long. Like,
that's crazy.
That one there made me feel old, like really old, because like that came out when I was old enough to remember it coming out. Do you know what I mean? Like it's also this week is on the 28th. It is the 36th anniversary of The Next Generation. That came out a year before I was born. So although I grew up with it, it actually came out before I was born. So it doesn't have the same like oh I'm old as Enterprise does. But Enterprise is like, oh my god, like I remember when this first came out. Like it does not feel 22 years ago.
No, I have the TNG old feeling.
It's weird. It is like, yeah, that freaked me out a little bit. I was like, holy moly. So it is a week of anniversaries for Trek, which I love that. Obviously, September is the time where shows always started anyway, so you're going to get quite a lot of anniversaries around this time. Next Generation is the show that I grew up with. It's the thing that got me into sci-fi, full stop. Like, without Next Generation, I don't think I would be the nerd I am today.
And Slamister!
Hey,
Your
Slam!
pattern got lost in the transport buffer. You didn't get merged with another person or anything, did you?
No flowers fell in there, did they? We're okay. We're okay. So yeah, Enterprise deserves a complete rewatch too. Yeah, I actually want to do that because the thing with Enterprise is that it was one that when it came out was basically a time in my life where I was like out actually being a person rather than being me and staying inside watching telly. So I think there are a good few episodes that I actually haven't seen of Enterprise because I it's not one that I made a religious sit down and watch out of like I did with the others. So I think there's probably a good few that I need to rewatch. So
I think I hadn't even seen it until years after it come out because
Yeah.
I'd heard it had been cancelled and I wrote it off. I didn't watch it. Plus, it wasn't. I don't know where it was broadcasted in the UK. I don't remember. But I don't
think it was
it
Sky.
was because I didn't have Sky,
Yeah,
so
I think it
I
was
couldn't
Sky.
watch it anyway.
And that was another thing. Like we intermittently had Sky whenever Dad had like football that he wanted to watch, and that was it. Like he didn't care what we wanted to watch. It was only when there was football season. So yeah, I don't remember, but I don't think I managed it myself. But yeah, I do want to rewatch it and get all of it together because it's Jack's favorite, and he really passionately talks about it, and he's made me want to sit down and rewatch it because I love Jack. He's one of my favorite people, and if he loves it as much as he does, then there must be a reason for it, and I want to watch it because he also is a big fan of The Expanse, which I'm a huge fan of. So I'm trusting his judgment on this one and thinking that I need to sit down and rewatch it. But yeah, happy anniversary to those 3 shows. You are all a huge part of our shared history together and our shared fandom, and I am sad that Disco is leaving, but I'm also excited to see the last season of it. I think it would be really nice to watch that, and I'm probably going to do a Next Generation rewatch at some point and then roll right on through to Picard season 3 and finish it with that. It was a long time ago.
There's a lot of bad episodes to get through.
Yeah, but you can do so like when I do with Naruto, when I watch Naruto, I watch a filler-free episode list. So all of the crap episodes people have written, which ones to avoid, and then you just watch around it, and it's great. There are
God,
good
definitely that.
people doing the Lord's work out there. Like, writing up the lists for you. Because yeah, there are some really bad episodes, but also, like I said, I wouldn't be the Trek nerd that I am today without Next Generation. It's what made me fall in love with it, and just sci-fi as a genre. So I owe a lot to that show. That it's just special.
Well, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Next Generation. So
yeah, it's mad. Sky Channel 4 took the first season. There you go. Yeah, so it moved around, and yeah, I hate it when that happened. Things moved, and my brain couldn't cope with it, Sean. Like, my brain was just like, why are things in different places? No. They did that with Buffy as well. It was on BBC Two, and then it went to Sky. That was a travesty. But yeah, so that is all of our little bits and bobs to talk about. So we are going to move on to something borrowed, something green. I'm going to switch back to our little share screen so I can show some images of this. I'm going to scroll down to get to the one at the end.
Yeah, so the brief outline of the episode is that Tendy's sister is getting married and has been invited to the wedding back on Orion. She really is hesitant to go, but Captain Freeman insists on her going. But T'Lyn and Mariner go with her, go on a little girls' trip, go on, explore the Orion underground. Meanwhile, Boimler and Rutherford are living the perfect roommate life, except they are now clashing over who gets to take care of a bonsai tree.
Which is so funny because most people fight over people not doing chores, not about people wanting to do chores, and that is so Boims and Rutherford. Like,
you've lost me again, by the way.
I got you back. I've already got you back.
But like, yeah, and then the way they resolve this is just absolutely hilarious. Like, this is one of those episodes where you really do focus on the lower deckers and very few of the other characters in the show, which I quite like. As much as I love Ransom and Shax and Ta'ana, it is the lower decks, and this is one of those episodes that really works. Now, do you remember we did our top 5s a few weeks ago?
Yeah.
I would consider putting this on my top 5. I
really?
adored this episode. I really did. I loved the 2 separate stories, the amount of character growth there was in this episode, the amount of comedy there was in this episode that just worked so well. Like, I was belly laughing at the whole Sam Clemens Mark Twain thing. Like, I was belly laughing every time Mariner got thrown a dagger at. Like, everything about this episode just hit really well for me.
That surprises me. That really surprises me. Don.
I really, really love this.
I've just seen what Don said in the chat. Don, I literally have a Superman tattoo on my wrist. You and I are going to be good friends. I'm obsessed with Superman, just so you know. Anyway, yeah, Brad, I agree with you. T'Lyn this season has been like literally my favorite part of Lower Decks. I think Michelle Ruiz is it Ruiz? I don't know how to say her surname.
Ruiz, I think.
Ruiz. She like Gabrielle Ruiz. Is that her? Gabrielle? I don't know her full name, but she honestly has been the absolute standout. Like, her deadpan delivery has just been so funny, and like, I think she's probably my favorite Vulcan at this point, and that's saying something because I am a Vulcan fan. She has fit so well into the core group. Like, it feels like there was always 5 of them. Like,
it feels like she's always been there. Yeah, right.
I didn't think they'd be able to do the integration as well as they have, because the core quad of our lower deckers have been so well established, not just as a quad but within their individual friendships, that I didn't think it was possible to have someone come into that and fit in as well. But T'Lyn has just been 10 out of 10, like on every front, every single
She
front.
comes out with the best remarks, like the priest had an 8-pack.
Like,
I love that.
She's
it was so
funny.
good. She comes out with the funniest things. Like, she's already got such a great friendship with Tendi when she throws the report out. She's really enabled them to split up our usual pairings as well. And I've really, really loved that. Like, simply by adding that fifth person, like, it's been
dynamics
so good.
Yeah, the dynamic changed completely, and I loved the fact that this week it was a girls' trip, and we got to see them as a trio together, and how they have grown as characters, as women. And I really enjoyed that. I thought that was a lot of fun, like a lot of fun. I
feel like this is like a direct follow-up to that episode that Mariner and Tendi go off to fetch Ta'ana's scratching post thing.
Oh, yeah.
Because that was a girls' trip, but that episode really highlighted how little we'd seen these characters together.
Yeah.
So this, by comparison, is so much better.
Yeah, they've grown a lot. We'll get to it, because what I don't want to do is do what we always do and talk about it out of sequence, because we always end up getting excited about bits at the end of the episode and talking about them at the first. So I'm going to hold myself. But going into this, I will say, for me, this was a 7 out of 10 episode. It was good. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed it. I laughed at some of it quite a lot. Other bits fell a little bit flat for me. And I will say I didn't like how disconnected the A and B storylines were. I think last week they did a very, very good job of connecting what was going on with Freeman and Ransom with what was going on with Boymes and his command mission. And although they were A and B stories, they linked really well together, and it worked really nicely for me. I actually think this week was a bit of a step back in that direction, because they were so separate and disjointed for me that I just felt like they didn't add to each other in any way, and I didn't like that.
I don't think they needed that, though. Like, I don't think every episode needs to have two directly connected stories. Like, because obviously Tendi, Mariner, and Tallinn, they're going off to a different place entirely. They wouldn't have been able to link that really to another story unless the Cerritos was at Orion as well.
But
I liked they had their separate stuff, but like Boimler and Rutherford was like low stakes, just comedy stuff.
I think sorry. Well, I think for me, like, I get what you're saying there, but for me, I think like it didn't have to connect directly. But for example, if what Boymes and Rutherford had going on at least connected to the overarching plot somehow and would be tied back in some way, that would be better for me. I'm not saying it's bad, it's just that was the one thing that I felt a little bit disjointed by, if that makes sense. So I'm being picky. I know I'm being picky, but I'm not just going to be like, I do gush over this show. I talk about it like all the time, but when I think something's a little bit weird, I will say. And speaking of that, one of the first things we deal with this week, which we didn't see last week at all, was that overarching storyline of this phantom ship that is wiping ships out and taking over their control. And I did like the fact that tied in to the episode. That was good, because previously those were just random ships that had nothing to do with what was going on in the episode. Whereas at least this was Orion.
I loved the Orion lower deckers at the end. They were hilarious.
They were really good. You're just an Orion plagiarist.
Yeah, so good. Well, we're pirate adjacent. Like, I just loved that. That was so funny.
They were really good. The thing that upsets me about this, though, is that, like, so this is the third time this has happened this season, and we still have not learnt anything from what is happening.
We're only on episode 4, though.
I know, but next week it's halfway through the season. So for me, again, and I said this right at the beginning, I am worried they are going down the Gorn route that they did with this season of Strange New Worlds, in that, like, it was teased and then we didn't actually have any information for the longest time, and it was annoying. And I feel like with this, it's like the exact same thing has happened 3 times. So after the second time, all I knew was not to get attached to these characters, no matter how funny they are, because in 2 minutes they're going to be dead anyway. And it's a little bit formulaic for me at this point. There needs to be something. I hope they don't do it again, is what I'm saying. I hope they don't do it again.
The difference about this one is that the ship was traveling. It wasn't targeting the Orions. It was on its way somewhere else.
Yeah.
So there's that. So the Orions,
Yeah, it wasn't just
unfortunately, got
floating around
themselves
waiting
killed.
for them. Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't just rock up like they did with the Romulans and the Klingons. But I do have faith that we're gonna hear about what's going on soon, because there's no more major powers other than like Cardassians and stuff like that. But I don't think they're gonna get involved with them. But like in the trailer, they say they're talking about a ship that's been destroying Klingons and Romulans. So I think we're gonna get it soon.
Yeah, I hope so. I really hope we do, and I really hope we don't just get the same scene again with a different race. Because
But Lower Decks also doesn't really do those season-wide arcs either. Like they're definitely more episodic.
They are. But now that they've introduced this as an overarching thing, I want to see it followed through in a bit more of a ongoing way. But that's me being fussy again. But I do like the fact that we do now know that it's close to what's going on in Federation, because obviously Freeman is aware that this ship has been destroyed. So it's not like it's just something that's happened in the outer edges of space and people don't know about it. This is something that, even down to the Cerritos level, like they're not, a first-class ship, they're not important, but even Freeman is aware that an Orion ship in the area has been destroyed by something.
Yeah. Well, Orion is in Federation space. It's not in the Federation, but it's in Federation space.
In space,
so
yeah.
It's not too far away from Earth and stuff. So it could be that the ship is actually on its way to Earth or Vulcan or something like that.
Yeah, so I did like the fact that we had that, and it ties it a bit more into what's going on. Yeah, Brad, they binned a Voyager era phaser rifle as well. Yeah, I saw that. But I saw other people, like Sean made a point of that on his video, and I was like, hang on a minute, the whole ship's getting exploded in a minute, who cares what they put in the bin? It's the whole ship's going. So yeah, that was weird. It's lag for you. I'm sorry, random, I'm not sure why that is. Maybe refresh the page. But yeah, so then we get Freeman coming in and saying that because of that, even though Tendi doesn't want to go to the wedding, like, she really should, because we're trying to be on good faith with the Orion, so they don't think that we had something to do with the ship getting blown up, basically. Which I liked that they tied that in. I thought that was a really nice little kind of through line. That's what I like, right? I like these sorts of ties, stringing it all together. I think that's really clever, and one of the things that the writers are really good at in this show, so I like it when they do it.
And we do have to talk about the fact that this is the first time we've ever seen Orion itself.
Ever! I know, it's insane. How?
Ever. Absolutely crazy. And if you think back in like the DS9, TNG eras, they would have just had a generic skyline painted, and it would have just looked like every other place. But yeah, no, it looked beautiful down there. So
yeah, it was. They
have
gorgeous.
a really nice planet.
I did find it a bit on the nose that the atmosphere was green as well. I thought that was really funny. It cracked me up. I was like, oh, it's not just them that are green. Everything's green. Like, everything is green. Green is one of my favorite colors.
Do you reckon Orion's photosynthesize?
Do you know what? Maybe. I was really excited about it, because I've said to you before, Orions are one of those alien races that I've always had quite a big interest in, because they've always seemed really mysterious and like
slutty.
Yeah, and I've always loved pirates as well, like the history of pirates and all of that side of things. So I thought it was really fun to have an alien that is like essentially just a pirate in space. And then when we finally meet Tendi in Lower Decks, and we start to have sort of more of a human side to the Orions, and like the complexity of them, and I've really enjoyed discovering Tendi and who she is, and she has very quickly become one of my favorite ever characters in Star Trek. I think she's just so wholesome and wonderful, and I love her. So this was really fun. I was always gonna love this part of the episode no matter what, because it's Orion. It's really cool. When we do get there, the bit that cracked me up probably the most in the whole episode was when the guys jump down from the tower, and Mariner instinctively goes into battle mode, and then no, they're just bringing like a seat for them to be carried off on. I was like, typical Mariner, always getting into a fight for no reason. So yeah, that was funny. You downloaded the Discord but had problems getting it. Oh, you got it now. Okay, cool.
My favourite line of the whole episode is when Boimler and Rutherford are fighting over the bonsai, and he accidentally missed Boimler, And it's my favorite quote of the whole episode. It went off in my hand. And I just like that is just like the best Rutherford quote ever. Like I just love that so much.
He's innocent, but not.
Yeah, I love him. I love him so much.
This is the thing about this, like all these characters, I love them so much. Like I want to protect them with everything I've got. Like
yeah,
but I just literally love them.
Can we also take a second to appreciate how much more grown up that it feels they are since they became Lieutenant JGs? Like
yeah,
we haven't dealt with any of Mariner's insecurities. We haven't dealt with Boimler's insecurities. They've all grown up so much.
Yeah, even when Boimler was struggling last week, it wasn't him struggling in himself. It was him not wanting other people to get hurt because of him, which is a very different thing. And had this been last season Boimler, that would have been a completely different story. And I think they've done a very, very good job this season in particular. Because previously they have had some episodes where they've almost taken a step back with the way that characters behave.
Yeah.
But this season, I think every single episode so far has been a progression on them as people, and it's been a joy to watch. Absolute joy to watch.
I just love how they're writing the characters this season. They're absolutely smashing out of the park. Because season 2 Mariner really regressed at the second half of the season.
Yeah.
You know, where she was still mad at Boimler for going to the Titan, and there was so many steps backwards, and it was just like, we've done this. Can we move on?
Yeah. Yeah. And this season, there's none of that. There's none of that. And I really enjoy that. And I think, like, again, a part of that comes down to the dynamic of having 5 characters and the way that they're all interacting with each other. And T'Lyn she just brings so much. Like, she's just so funny. She's so funny. She's the reason I'm crying half the time because I just can't stop. I can't cope with her. I think the thing with Vulcans is that their deadpanness, and when it's turned into comedy, is a very British type of comedy. It's very British. And I know Trek isn't British, but I feel like they are. Like, I feel like Vulcans could not be more British, and it just cracks me up every time she says a one-liner, and I just can't cope with my life. She's just the best. She's just the best. So, like, that's the thing. Like, she wants to go on this trip, not just to, like, hang out at a wedding, but she wants to go because no one's been to Orion and written a report on it. Like, and so she's like, oh, this is an opportunity. Like,
and she's like the audience character because we've never seen Orion.
Yeah, basically. She's the Boimler of the episode. She's the Boimler. And I really liked that for her as well. I thought that was really fun because getting to see her excited about things in her own, like, straight-laced way is really fun. I just think she's brilliant. I think she deserves an award this season because she's come into such a well-established group and just melded in so perfectly. I just love her. I genuinely think she's incredible. So they get to the planet. The thing cracks me up, like, straight away is Mariner's like, whoa, you live in a palace? And she's like, oh, it's we're barely the 5th biggest family. Like, she's trying to downplay it the entire time. Like, no, it's not that big, it's fine. Whereas, like, Mariner's like, I come from a post-thingy world, and, like, even this is big to me. Like, what? And it's brilliant. It's just funny. And obviously we find out that there's the tradition of the bridal kidnapping and all of that stuff, and Tendy's like not phased at all that her sister has been kidnapped until she realizes that it's like not at the usual time that they get kidnapped. Like, it would have already happened, like she would have already been returned by now at this point. Like, this is now starting to worry them. This is another thing that I have a gripe with. And the person who wrote our review on TrekCentral.net also said the same thing. Is that
.not is when the website's down.
Yeah, .not. It's when the little T-Rex shows up. Yeah, no, shut up, Sadie. Right. When they're talking about it, the reason why Tendi gets, like, invested in looking for her sister is because they say that her ex might be involved, and she's like, oh, that means it's dangerous, and, like, she gets all, like, intrigued by it. But then when we do see that ex, he's not dangerous at all. She's like walks all over him, and he's a pussycat. Like,
yeah, it didn't bother me.
It bothered me.
I didn't even realize it until until Sean pointed out later. Like,
oh yeah, Sean said
didn't even notice it. I was too busy being fascinated by the Ursula character.
Oh yeah.
And, oh my god, referring to the pheromones as the moans
the stank.
and the stink.
Yeah.
The stink. Oh my god, I was like, oh no. I'm
It's
getting
so
even
funny.
gayer. I don't want to smell her stink. Thank you.
Her stank. But yeah, so
Yeah.
that was funny. Then obviously we go back to the Rutherford and Boimler situation, and they have already got scheduled some time in the holodeck. So they decide that is the best place for them to sort out their issues about the bonsai tree.
So it's not even, it's not like they really go. They're just like, let's just try and have a good time and kind of make up and stuff. And then they both arrive dressed as Mark Twain and Sam Clemens from Time's Arrow from the Next Generation, which I just think is the most funny thing. They carry on arguing through it, but by the next time we cut back to the holodeck, they're just so agreeable, and it's just, I love it.
See,
I do declare, my kind lady Jarvis.
I
want to talk in that style so badly.
I love the accent. The accent cracks me up. However, for me, I didn't enjoy that bit as much as you did. I don't know. I don't know if it's because I don't really care about Mark Twain. I'm like, I like the references fall flat on me. I know. I never studied him at school or anything like that.
I mean, no. I've never studied Mark Twain at all. But it's purely because he's in the Next Generation.
In the Next Generation, yeah, I know.
Time's Arrow. But it was just so silly. Just talking in old style language, just being really, really silly. I just thought it was absolutely hilarious. Like,
I thought it was weird. Welcome in, Erie. Nice to see you.
Thank you for the like. Guys, don't forget to like the stream as well, please.
Yes, please.
And share it on socials, because these live streams really bank on chatting with us and telling us their thoughts and feelings. And obviously, the more people that we've got together to watch the live stream and interact in that, the better they are. So
also,
feel free to share them on socials.
Thank you if you joined in the chat in the comments last week. I really enjoy going through the comments during the week. So if you're watching in the VOD, hello, welcome. We appreciate you. We see you. And please do leave comments. We'd love to hear what you have to say. Like, genuinely. Like, the best bit about this job is that we get to nerd out about the thing that we love the most. So getting to do that with even more people is the best thing ever. So please do leave your favorite bits from the episodes in the comment section, because we want to know. I
agree with Brad.
Everyone should settle their arguments by dressing as Mark Twain and speaking all the time.
I do declare. Yeah, me and my housemate, I do declare. I do think you should feed the feline animal whilst I'm on holiday.
All it makes me think about
vacation.
Is the drag queen from RuPaul's Drag Race, Bless.
Now, but I feel like my accent is Daniel Craig in Knives Out.
Yeah, Knives Out. I loved that.
I love Knives Out so much.
We watched both of them this year for the first time and literally loved them. But yeah, no, I the accent got me. I think Rutherford's was actually better than Boimler's. Like, Rutherford nailed it, and I for a moment was like, is that still him? Is that still the same actor? Yeah. He was very good. But yeah, so, and then they like discover that obviously because they're both playing the same character and they're both gentlemen, that they can come to an agreement, and they decide that one's going to water on odd days and one's going to water on even days, and I just thought that was funny.
And they make me want to drink whiskey, and I don't drink whiskey.
But yeah, so then we go back down to the planet, and we get the club scene, which, oh my god, that best scene of the entire episode. It was so funny. We get the drinking game with her old friend from high school, who, by the way, looks about 20 years older than Tendi does. Like, I was like, no way is she at high school with her. Like, that's weird. She looks so much older, but maybe living on the planet just ages you more because it's a stressful lifestyle. I don't know. When your drinking game literally could involve you dying by scorpion bite. Fair play. I let out a scream when it was eaten. My family looked like, what the heck? When what was eaten? What did I miss? Was I being dumb then?
Bonsai?
Oh, the bonsai. Yeah.
So I don't think the drinking game was deadly. I don't think they ever really specified what the game was. I think it was just a bit of a mad.
I think knowing Orion's, it probably was deadly.
Yeah.
Knowing Orion's, because Tendi didn't let it get her. And I feel like Tendi being like medical and protective and like maternal, that's why she did that, because she's like, even though I won, I'm not gonna let you get hurt, which I thought was very Tendi and very sweet. But yeah, that was really funny. That cracked me up. It also looked like a really fun game. Like, really, really fun game. We need to like try and build a version of that, but like a little robot with a zapper on it or something.
Or like a hole punch.
That's way dangerouser. So yeah, that cracked me up. I thought that was really funny. And then the Ursula character comes in, and we have that whole discussion with Mariner, who's like, oh yeah, they don't really have pheromones because Tendi before like made it like poo-pooed it, didn't she? And then she's like, I didn't actually say.
I love the reference to the TOS episode where Kirk does get he gets played by a couple of Orion.
How else for the captain? Yeah,
exactly. It's so funny.
That's the thing that this Lower Decks does really well, and it's one of the reasons, Sean, why we love it so much, is that like it is a love letter to Trek, and it's literally like the references are not just there for the sake of it. They are all so lovingly placed and like crafted so perfectly that it's just gorgeous. And there's quite a few of those things in this episode that I really enjoyed, and one of them was that it really cracked me up. And as well, like looking at the picture that's on the screen of the Orion landscape and stuff, like the art style in this show is incredibly beautiful. Oh, it's gorgeous.
Just because a show is animated doesn't mean that it can't be as beautiful as, you know, all the other Star Trek series that come before it. Because like back in, like I said, in TNG and DS9 and stuff, and Voyager as well, whenever you saw a cityscape, it was most definitely a painted scene.
Yeah.
That was just composited into a shot. Like, yeah.
And I've always said this animation just does something for me that live action doesn't, and I don't know why. I think it captures my imagination in a way that live action just never has been able to. I just love it, and I don't know what it is. It's the same with my other half. He's the same. Like, he will cry his eyes out at anime, but doesn't shed a tear at all in live action stuff at anything. Like, it's just something, I don't know. I just love it. And I think voice actors are some of the most talented actors around. Like, they are so good at their job because they can't rely on their facial expressions at all, or their body language at all. They can only use their voice to portray emotion, and it's so finely honed. Like, they're just some of the best actors, I think. I genuinely believe that voice actors are so underappreciated in the industry. They are absolutely phenomenal, and this cast in particular are just magic together. Just magic. They're so good as an entourage. And I think it's rare that you have a cast that you love as equally as we do with these. Like,
yeah,
no one annoys me. Like, there isn't one character at all in this show that annoys me. I love them all for their own reasons. Even the characters that are meant to be a bit annoying, I don't find annoying. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just love them. I think it's a testament to the actors and the writers. I think they're incredible. You just noticed that the light at the top looks like the rear end of the Orion ship in the original series.
Yes, I noticed that on my second watch. Yeah, it looks like, yeah, I agree.
That's hilarious. Yeah,
I spotted that on my second watch through, because I remember them walking past it. I was like, oh, that kind of looks like an Orion ship, and then I got a better look at it in this bit. Yeah,
they definitely did that on purpose. They definitely did that on purpose with the ring around it and whatever.
Yeah, they brought that Orion ship class back in Strange New Worlds, and it looks so good.
They did, yeah.
Like, the way they've done it in the CGI, they look absolutely fantastic.
I love Miggly Moo Random. He's so funny. He's so funny. He really cracks me up. Do you know what?
He's okay. He's not my favorite.
He reminds me. Have you seen? Oh my god, I always forget the name of this show, and I know it begins with an S, but I always forget the name of it. The one where when you go to work, you turn off your personality, and then like
the wow, frig.
It begins with S. I know it does.
Yeah, the Apple TV one with Adam Scott.
Yeah, it reminds me of Miggly Moo reminds me
Severed.
of Severed. There
Severance.
You go. Miggly Moo reminds me of his wife in that. That's the there's like a similarity in there. But I really like Miggly Moo, and I really enjoyed Friggly Moo last week.
Your outie is kind to animals.
It's so creepy. They just get off on it. It's funny. But yeah, no, I like Miggly Moo Random. I enjoy him. I also like the fact that he's a bird. Just cracks me up. But yeah, so back. One of the things that we haven't discussed yet is the way that the rest of Orion treats Tendi. So Tendi is very clearly uncomfortable with the fact that she has like a reverence in her home. Like, she's like was it the Mistress of the Moon or Third Mistress?
Mistress of the Winter Constellation.
There you go, Mistress of the Winter Constellation. So we've had hints at her past before, but we've never fully been able to like explore what that means and like who Tendi actually is and why she's the way she is. And I love the way that like when she rocks up to the bouncer, he basically craps himself when he realizes who she is, and the other two are like, ooh.
Yeah, so the Mistress of the Winter Constellations is a title given to the prime of I'm gonna guess Tendi's particular household.
Yeah.
She's basically their trained deadly assassin. And I'll guess that each of the top families have
one
a trained
themselves.
assassin that probably has a title of its own.
Yeah, because it seems to have like the prime seems to be like a recognized thing, not just a Tendi family thing, right? Like it's obviously a title that is bestowed upon the oldest daughter or the oldest child. Because it might not be gender specific, we don't know, which they just happen to have daughters in this family, we're not sure. However, what I will say is that the wedding is quite gender reversed. So the guy's the one that's walking down the aisle, so it wouldn't surprise me.
Doesn't he look radiant?
I know, yeah. It wouldn't surprise me if it was daughters that were the assassins and not males, because of the way that they are on this planet, which I really enjoyed.
I'd be the mistress of the summer cucumber. Yeah, that would be.
Your cats would be afraid of you.
Oh, no, see, that's a myth. That only works in countries where there are snakes, because they think it's a snake. But,
oh, that was such a mean summer.
But if anyone is scared of cucumbers,
I need to think of my title now. I don't know what it would be. Let me know, chat, if you could think of a good one for me, because I do not know. But be kind. Be kind. I'm ill. Leave me alone. So yeah, that I think was really good. And one of the things that I did love the most about this is that like all the way through this whole episode, Tendi is like really almost embarrassed of who she was trained to be, and like she's ashamed of it. But the other two are like, we knew this was like, you're a badass. Of course we knew. Like we don't care. Like, what are you talking about? We know this is part of who you were, but it's not who you are. Like, and I loved that. And even to Lynn, like, who hasn't been close with her for as long as Mariner has, like, both of them are just like the best friends they could possibly be to her in that moment.
It just makes me love them so much, so much. And I think they easily could have got annoying, the whole Tendi trying to hide her pirating past and stuff, because we've done that in previous episodes. We've done that when Mariner and Tendi go off to find Ta'ana's thing. We've had that when there was the Orion officer on Deep Space Nine.
Yeah.
And she goes into pirating mode there. But it's great that we finally dealt with it. And I feel like, a little bit like Mariner's insecurities about being demoted in episode 2, that I feel like we've drawn a line under this now, and this isn't going to be something that's revisited. And if we do see Tendi in some kind of pirate thing in the future,
I feel she'll own it.
It'll be more natural. Exactly. Yeah. She'll be more comfortable with it because she doesn't feel the need to be embarrassed by it. So.
Yeah, because of the way her friends reacted, right? Like, they gave her that reassurance that, like, we know that although this is part of who you are, it's not your heart, and we know you, Tendi. And I think she needed that. She needed that, like, rawness of them actually seeing what she can do, not just guessing at it and still being okay with it. And I think that was a really important moment for Tendi as a character, because she is literally a primary school teacher. Like, she is the sweetest, like, most loving, maternal kind of person ever, that being a assassin is like the antithesis of who she has become. It's so funny.
It also reminds me of that episode where the guy is like interrogating them and they all like tell their different stories and stuff. And Tendi's story is about being the cleaner, and all their eyes are redacted and stuff.
Yeah.
I just find it the funniest thing, because Tendi was literally sent in to clean the conference room, but she's taken on this covert mission and then ends up kicking ass because she's a trained assassin.
Yeah.
Like, it's
brilliant.
Absolutely hilarious. Like,
absolutely brilliant. I do hope that we get to see a little bit of like flashback of young Tendi at some point. I think it would be really fun to see some like her being trained and things like that. I think that could be a lot of fun. And I think one of the things that like I want to see more of, and I hope we get to revisit, is her relationship with her sister.
Can we talk about her sister a sec?
Yeah.
She was voiced by the woman who plays Alex in Modern Family,
Yeah.
and I love her so much. She played that sister role so well, and she's one of those voices in TV that I've always loved. Yeah,
I have never watched Modern Family.
Modern Family's great.
I'm not a big fan of American sitcoms, I have to say. I don't know. The canned laughter gets to me quite a lot, and so I just don't watch it a lot.
There's no canned laughter in it.
Okay, well that puts me off watching any of the shows usually.
Yeah, that's a very I don't think shows do that anymore.
Is it got Lorelai in it from Gilmore Girls? Is that the one I'm thinking of?
Is.
Oh my god, have you not seen Gilmore Girls?
I think I watched an episode and I was just like, yeah, no, this isn't for me.
Oh, dude. Knowing you, I actually think you would really love that show.
I watched a bit of it, but it's not, I don't think it's aged well. And it's just very... I don't get their issues. Like,
Fair.
It goes over my head a bit.
Fair. I think it's got Mae Whitman
Family
in it
is
as well.
really fun.
Mae Whitman. She was Katana in Avatar: The Last Airbender. I think she's in that show as well. Jonathan, yeah, I agree. I literally love Lower Decks. There's just something magic about it, and I think these characters are hilarious. We haven't even discussed poor Mariner getting stabbed in the shoulder 3 times that we saw, and then mentioned that she got stabbed multiple times.
I just thought it was so funny. Like, I did not anticipate it being a repeated joke through the episode.
No,
it just got so funny because these daggers come out of the air so quickly. You've got no time to think, and they got stormtrooper aim, but when the one bounces off the metal grate,
that was so
funny.
And
it hits Marinette, that I was just like, this is
because she sees the knife that time, and she's like, no, I'm gonna hide. I'm hiding. This isn't happening. And then it gets her again, and it's in the exact same spot every time. It's just brilliant.
Yeah. It's just I love slapstick stuff. Like, slapstick stuff really tickles me.
Yeah, I do when it's done well, and this show really knows how to do physical comedy, even though it's animated. It's somehow, I don't know how they do it, because it physical comedy is such a visual thing, and they managed to do it so well with like drawings. Like, how do they do that? I don't understand. But yeah, Jim, no, I agree. I really liked that. Like, we obviously knew that they were going to resolve, but like, I think that the way they did it, the way that she didn't let her beat her in that moment. Like,
she genuinely won.
Yeah, she won. To be fair, she had an actual weapon, and Tendi had a bit of metal. So, you know, had they had the same weapon, maybe Tendi would have done a bit better. But I think that was really good, and I think it was really important that she didn't let her win, that they both went at it full on, and Tendi was like, look, you beat me, like, you were meant to do this, you're not in my shadow, like, this is who you are. Like, I think that was really good. And I also like the fact that her sister didn't begrudge her because she didn't want to be the Prime, because she did want to be the Prime, she just didn't want to be in her sister's shadow. Which I think
she didn't
really
have
nice.
that confidence that she didn't have the confidence that she was the better sister, but now she does. So
yeah, I thought that was gorgeous. I really enjoyed that. I thought it was nice. And then obviously in the meantime, we've got I'm going to scroll back up to the top picture here. Dun, 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 dun. Where's he gone?
They see me scrolling.
There he is.
They hate him.
There he is. That was beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, so in the meantime, we have Boymes and Rutherford get out of the holodeck. Welcome back, Random. Boymes and Rutherford get out of the holodeck to be told they need to go to the bridge. They go to the bridge. Freeman is in the middle of a conversation over to another ship, who are arguing about a nebula that Starfleet want to scan, and they're like, no, you always do too thorough a scan and it messes things up, blah, blah, blah. Basically just doesn't want her to do her job. One of those, like, basically he was bickering for the sake of bickering, it felt like. He was just being petty. And Freeman's like, how do we resolve this? Instantly, you just know that these two are going to suggest what they suggest. Like, I just knew it was going to happen.
I loved it. It was so silly. Seeing Captain Freeman and this guy whose species I can't remember, dressed up as Mark Twain. I was, oh my God, that was so funny. And then Freeman's attempt at a southern accent, and the alien just screams, and he's like, maybe try a southern accent. That was a southern accent.
Like, yeah, that really cracked me up.
Oh my God, it really cracked me up.
Welcome in, Daka. Nice to see you. Happy evening. I'm trying to find his name.
What are you talking about, Sophia? Who's Sophia? I'm confused who Sophia is.
Voiced by... I am broken. My brain doesn't work. I don't know who Sophia is.
I
I'm
don't
trying to
know
find
who
the name
Sophia
of that race. Where are they? It's in here somewhere. It's in here somewhere. Freeman. I gotta find it now. It's gonna annoy me. I need to know. Oh, I can't find it. If you know the name of the race, please let us know. But they're basically like Klingons on steroids.
Klingons on roids. Klingroids.
Yeah, Klingroids. That's my new name for them. They're going to be the Klingroids. So yeah, they're like extra angry Klingons. That's how I see these guys. And Freeman's like, oh God, not again. I've got to deal with this somehow. Freeman, bless her, is not the most diplomatic of captains.
I was just watching you scroll past Boimler Rutherford. It went off in my hand. I just love it so much.
That was a good impression. Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, so they suggest that they go in and do it, and obviously it doesn't work. But when Freeman's like, why did you suggest this? And they discuss the bonsai, immediately the alien is like, what's a bonsai? I'm intrigued. So they go and visit the bonsai and explain that basically this bonsai is their child. And he's like, oh, it's beautiful. And then he eats it. He literally eats it. That got a belly laugh from me. I like proper belly laugh.
And then he also drinks the mist as well.
Yeah, he needs a mist. He needs a mist. He doesn't just like open it and drink it. He mists it in his face, which I thought was really, really funny.
No, he rips the top off and he pours it.
Oh, does he? Okay.
Yeah.
Klingoids are a totally different thing. Oh, are they? Okay, they're different. They're not. It's non-pronounceable. Okay, thank you, Davey. At least I'm not the only person that can't say it. But yeah, he ate their child. Their face when that happened was just heartbreaking. I was like, oh boys, and they just have this tiny little stem left.
Bony.
Just you wait. Oh, welcome. Thank you for joining and becoming a member, Giga. That is awesome.
Thank you,
that's really nice of you. Really appreciate that. So yeah, I hope that we now see this tiny little stem in the background in their room. And hopefully it will grow into a new one, because that would just be amazing. I really want that to happen, because they like very clearly were like, oh, we've got a little tiny bit left. That was so funny. That was so funny. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. That cracked me up. And then of course they also have the issue where they then start arguing about whether they should have an oil painting or is it a charcoal? Watercolor. Oil or watercolor of the Enterprise D. So they go back in, and this time they are Mozart. Were they Mozart?
It's Mozart, yeah. They played Mozart, settled on an acrylic painting of the Enterprise D, and they start playing the harpsichord, and it's so absolutely brilliant. Like, I love them so much.
It's so funny. Oh, by the way, yes, Daka, you are now green. Welcome to the Orion Club. You have joined me.
Green Orion.
You have joined me in the Orion Club, Daka. I appreciate this. We shall deem them grab-ons, okay?
Thanks, Slamester. Yeah, you've got to catch up on your lower decks. It's so good. And I do I'm sure I gush about him every week. Not Slamester, but I love you, Slamester. But Eugene Cordero. I love Eugene Cordero. He's one of my favorite voice actors. Yeah. I just love his characters. Every single one of his characters that play.
I can't wait to see him in Loki again.
And also, Loki 2 starts, is it next week?
I think so, or the week after. One of the two.
It's 2 weeks' time. Loki season 2 is starting, and I think he's been bumped up to series regular.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
We're gonna get more Eugene Cordero, and I love him. I love him in everything he's in.
He's just adorable. He is just adorable.
He is adorable.
He's
and I want
very
to keep
funny.
Him.
Very funny. He's one of those people that like. He's deadpan in a different way. So he's not deadpan in the way that T'Lyn is deadpan, but he like just doesn't have any understanding of how funny he is when he's in character. Like he's just like. On the note, he's just so good. I just want to give him a cuddle every time I see him. And I just love him. I think he's amazing. No, we won't, Slam. We will always praise you.
Slam has not been well this week either, so much love to you.
Oh,
Slam.
big hug, Slam.
Well, so.
I have, in the same way, I have literally been in bed with the duvet over my face all weekend. So I feel you, friend. But yeah, so that was. Like, it was a fun B storyline. However, like I said, I would have liked if it linked a little bit better. But I do like that when they get back at the end, the boys are just so jealous that they didn't get to go to
Yeah, I liked it at the end of the episode where they got together and they told each other stories about what had happened. I really loved that.
Yeah.
Because yeah, like they went on shore leave or like an away mission and stuff. But yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. I thought that was really lovely, and the girls were showing photos. I do think it was a bit of a missed opportunity that we didn't get to see more of the wedding itself. This is like a trope that happens a lot in TV, like across every genre, is that like there'll be something to do with a wedding and they'll be all about the prep of the wedding and getting the bride down the aisle or like whatever, something goes wrong, and then the wedding is rushed through and you barely see any of it. And they did that in this, and we, like, for example, we see the picture of Tendy's sister carrying her husband on a vine across the threshold. Like, that would have been fun to actually see. I think like little moments like that, I think it would have been fun.
I feel like if they were characters that we were more engaged with, that we knew more, then yes, I would like to see more about it. But also as well, I think it's a good metaphor for a real life wedding. It's like so much focus on the prep and then it's just over in one day.
Yeah, I could see that.
And Brad wants to see Noel Wells and Eugene Cordero as live action brothers.
Yes, please.
Yes, I agree, because they all do pretty much look like their characters.
Yeah.
And I would very much love to see them.
I think that's one thing that they did really, really well with this cast, is that they, like, I think the only person that doesn't look anything like their character at all is Ransom.
Tana.
No, well, yeah, Tana, fair. But she could be made to look like a cat quite easily.
Yeah.
But I don't think Ransom looks anything like himself, like, at all. I don't think he looks like, I didn't even realize that was him until last time.
Yeah,
we
no,
did that episode.
I knew him from all the different films and stuff he's been in, and of course Sliders from the 90s.
I literally just basically knew him as a 90s actor, and also the fact that he's with Rebecca Romaine. Like, yeah, Rebecca Romaine. Yeah, that's all I knew.
I was a big fan of Sliders as a kid. Not the burgers, but I do love burgers. But the TV show, and also he was in Scream 2.
He was in Scream 2. Yeah, that's what I most remember him for, to be honest. Was that. But yeah, I don't think he looks anything like him. But all of the others, you could very easily, I think, make work.
I think they would just have to dye him blonde, like, and then they'd get away with it.
They need to give him more hair. He'd have to have a hairpiece. He hasn't got the crazy quiff going down.
They'd need to maybe de-age him a bit as well. I think Ransom's quite a bit younger.
Ransom is a young, attractive dude. Sorry, not sorry, but it's true.
Oh, here's one of my theories for the season. Do you reckon that Ransom and Mariner are gonna become a thing?
Yeah,
I think they might. Yeah,
the tension has been there since the very first episode.
Yeah,
like, it's unbelievable, and now it's been addressed in a really healthy way that it would make more sense. Because up until this point, it was almost like they were gonna hate Shag. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it was like, just cut the tension, get it out of their system, and move on. But now he's actually like in her corner in such a positive way. I think it's changed,
and she stopped being paranoid. And, yeah.
And I also, like, normally I would have an issue with it because he's a commanding officer and she's not. But I actually think that where they are in their relationship and who she is as a person, rank doesn't mean as much to her as it does to other people. Like, she doesn't see a rank and automatically respect someone. You have to earn her respect. And so I don't think it's the same as if, like, Ransom and Tendy, for example. That would be a gross power dynamic. I don't think that would work. But with Mariner, I feel like actually it makes a lot of sense. And she doesn't even
really care about her own rank, because she didn't want to put herself forward for promotion. She just wanted to see her friends succeed.
By the way, in this picture, they've all just got their ensign pip. They haven't got their other pip on.
Oh, is this a picture from earlier in the season?
No, this is the picture when they're looking at the photos at the end of the episode.
Okay.
That is weird. I've literally just noticed that looking at it now. Hate Shag. Yeah, Jonathan, that's what it felt like it was going to be. I was also trying not to swear, so I changed the word.
I did hate Shag and swearing.
But yeah, Jim said when you were a kid, your sister got you into some green paint and got it all over you both from head to toe. Yes, you can be an Orion too, Jim. I'm down with that. If you haven't seen our first episode of Star Trek Adventures, I went full on green.
Okay. I still had Paramount Plus open in another tab. They do have their pips on.
Why don't they have it on in this picture?
I don't know. Maybe
this
it's just because it's smaller. I mean, it's small on my screen, but
No, I can see it very clearly, and they do not have the second black pip on with the gold outline.
that's weird.
That is strange. Maybe it's from a trailer.
So I'm looking at maybe it's Oh, I tell you what, I wonder if this was a promotional image they put out before the season, and they hid the fact that they got promoted.
Yeah, that's probably a correct theory. I would go with that. I'm on board with that. So I thought it was a strong 7 out of 10 episode. I really enjoyed it. Wasn't my favorite, wasn't my least favorite. I know you loved it a lot more than I did. But yeah, this
gets an 8.75 out of 10 from me.
Oh, that's very specific. Very specific there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I did really enjoy it, and there's a lot of fun in there. And like I said, there was a lot of like character development. I also really enjoyed the 7 of 9 reference, the fact that it was a Raven class ship that they found in the scrapyard. We've again a lot of Voyager love this season. I got
so much Voyager love.
Got to appreciate that. Those of you that don't know the relevance of the Raven class ship, it is the ship that the Hansen family are on when they go to study the Borg.
Stupid people.
Yeah, I know, right? Let's go study this really dangerous thing. And I believe there's some kind of like anomaly that makes their shields falter for a second or something, and then the Borg can spot them, and that's how 7 of 9 gets borged, basically. So it's
well, she goes into a maturation chamber anyway. She doesn't get borged straight away, but still.
Yeah. But so I loved that reference. I thought that was really nice. It's not very often we see a Raven class. So that was really cool. Also, like, you could see the old ring shape ships in the background. You couldn't see them completely, but you could see bits of rings sticking up out of the debris. So that was really cool. And then also there was that moment where Tendi was like, can we leave some of this out of the report? And T'Lyn literally throws her whole pad out the window. She's like, boom. Like, it's if doing a report without the subject's consent is not ethical, and that's all she needed to do.
And you know, like, that was quite the gesture, because she easily could have just erased what was on the pad.
Yeah.
But like, she wanted to make that so much of a gesture by physically throwing that out of the ship. Yeah. That really does signify that, like, T'Lyn is really
part of the family.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was gorgeous. I think, like, it's very hard as an actor, I think, to portray a Vulcan that is so Vulcan and also be able to show their emotional side, because obviously we know that
gets borged. Sounds Swedish.
That's I liked it, Daka. Yeah, we also we know as a culture that they dampen their emotions because they actually feel them more strongly than humans, and so we know that on the inside, like, they are very raw, but it must be so hard to portray that. And I just think she does such a good job of showing T'Lyn's softer side without ever being too human. Like, she's so good at it. I honestly cannot praise her enough. I think she's absolutely incredible.
And I think we've got Ethan Peck to thank for a lot of this, because he's the one who really started playing the Vulcans kind of comically.
Yeah.
And he's got that half human side to him. But, you know, the Wedge Dude episode of Lower Decks did set up that T'Lyn is a little bit of a kind of a renegade compared to other Vulcans.
Yeah.
So, and I love that. There's so much nuance to this character already. Oh, John in chat says the other captain was a Chalnoth. That's the
Thank you, John. Thank
Not
you.
a Klingonoid.
Not a Klingoid. I'm gonna keep calling him a Klingoid now, just because it came out wrong, and that is now my new favorite thing. A family outing on a Borg ship was all the way to the Delta. I know, what a dumb thing to do. Hey, fam. But yeah, I think this episode had some really nice moments in it. There were some really nice Trek tributes in there. Overall, strong episode. Not my favorite, but I enjoyed it. Next week, we have, I think is it called empathological fallacies? Yes, there we go. And it is a T'Lyn based episode. So we are going to get, hopefully, a Vulcan centric episode. Gabrielle Ruiz, as we said earlier, is just literally an angel. Like, I just can't stop raving about her. I think she is just incredible and such a perfect addition to this cast, and I'm so glad she's been bumped up to the status that she has been, and so yeah, I'm really hoping that this episode will be like just all about her, and we'll get so much more about her past, and hopefully we'll get to go to Vulcan, because it's always fun when we get to go to Vulcan. I'm looking forward to this. I'm really looking forward to this. And I think we might then also get more about that mysterious ship a bit more, because if something's going on in this area, the Vulcan scientists are going to be on top of it, right? Like, we know that Vulcans aren't going to be letting this sort of thing go on without some sort of investigation. So yeah. I feel like this would be a perfect time to have it all come together, and it is the halfway point. I can't believe that, by the way, that we're already halfway through the season next week. That's like, what? So yeah, that's insane. So the other ship, Jim, was the Orion ship that we were talking about earlier, that has like a ring around it, that they brought back in Strange New Worlds, but it was one of the like original Orion ship designs. But you could see the ring shape coming out of the scrapyard quite a bit, even though you couldn't see the whole thing. And so I was assuming that's what it was nodding at anyway. So yeah, so I'm really looking forward to next week. I think it should be a good laugh. Anything that's T'Lyn based, I'm all in for. I can predict me and you will be literally losing our mind over it. So I already know.
I lose my mind over every episode.
I know, yeah. I know. This is why I love doing these with you, though, because you're just as much of a nerd as I am, and we just get to equally geek out, and it's so fun.
And I get to say things like, I want the D, as in Enterprise D.
That is going on TikTok.
But also as well, like, I am so ADHD today, and I cannot stop playing with everything that's on my desk. So my job this week is to just clear my desk of anything that I just can pick up and play with, because I need to stop.
Oh, I deliberately have my fake bubble wrap so that I can play with it, and it's like the only thing that I do to stop myself from doing other things. So yeah, but yeah, so I hope you enjoyed yourselves as much as we did this week. Thank you so much for joining us. It's really nice to see regulars coming back each week. We can't tell you how much we appreciate you guys. It definitely makes it way more fun when we get to chat with you and hear your input. And don't forget, like I said earlier, if you are watching in the VOD, please do leave your favourite moments down in the comments. We will join in with you and have a chat with you as much as we can throughout the week. And we will be back at the same time next Sunday.
Where can people find you on the internet land, Jarvis?
On the interwebs, you can find me on the Twitters and the Blue Skies, and Instagram at Jarvdusa, because I'm obsessed with Hades, the video game. At Jarvdusa. What about you?
You can find me on Get Mic'd on Twitch and Blue Sky, and Get Mic'd OW on Instagram and Twitter.
You sound like you're from London.
Yeah, I'm from London. Yeah, I just like saying that.
I watched Forgetting Sarah Marshall recently. Man, I love that film so much. Also, we aren't going to tell you what, but just a gentle reminder that we are going to MCM. If you have not got your tickets yet, get your tickets, because we might just have some very special prizes to give away during the quiz. So we're not going to tell you what they are, but we are going to tell you they're awesome, and you're going to want to be there.
And I'm hosting the quiz.
Yeah.
And I'll be there in my sparkly green Quizmaster jacket. So
yeah, and it's not just a track-based quiz; it's a general sci-fi-based quiz.
Sci-fi quiz.
So yeah, and we're also doing a panel and a meet and greets. So yeah, make sure you get your tickets for MCM. I'm really excited about it. Genuinely like freaking out, because there are so many cool panels that are on, that like the fact that we get to do one.
Incredible talent as well.
Yeah.
MCM is the 27th to the 30th or 31st of October, so it's the last weekend
in October. Yeah. Which I'm very much looking forward to.
Yes, I can't believe we're going to MCM.
I know. I have been so many times as a punter that like to get to go and be on the stage for 3 different things is just amazing for me. Like,
and this will be my first as well. This will be my first one.
You're going to love it so much. You're also going to come home with loads of crap that you shouldn't buy.
I guarantee.
I am going to
I said earlier, I've spent lots of money on the new Pokemon series, the 151 cards. Let's not talk about how much, but I've got the sets, so I've got it. So.
Right, that'll be us. We will see you next week. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Have a wonderful week. Don't forget to watch Lower Decks on Thursday, and maybe watch the very short trek, and tell me if it's safe to watch it, because if it's gross, I don't want to watch it again.
Yeah. Oh, also, I'll be on BBC Breakfast on Wednesday morning.
What?
So, Did I not tell you that?
No.
Okay, so guys, I'm doing a Children in Need thing with Ubisoft in Manchester on Wednesday morning. with about 300 kids. I'll be dressing up as the Eye of the Tiger coach from Just Dance. And it's like a collab between Ubisoft and Children in Need. And there's a high likelihood I'll be on BBC Breakfast on Wednesday morning in the UK. So
that is pretty cool. Okay, guys, we need to
if you're up
nerd
and
out
you've
over
got the TV
that.
on, I'll be on there. So
That's amazing.
I'm terrified. I'm going to be on TV.
No, you're going to be amazing. Okay, right. Live long and prosper, everybody.
Sorry, we need to go.
We will see you all soon. Have a wonderful week.
Like, comment, and subscribe.